I'm back. That movie was pretty dope. I just finished it a minute ago. I started looking at something prompted me to go within my subscription list on YouTube. I got quite a few subscriptions on the YouTube. I follow Jason A for a while. I suppose it's good, like watching for signs of the times or watching the intensity of the conversion just pick up. You know what I mean? Like it keeps intensifying wild things. You know what I'm saying? So this one instance I'm looking at, it's a video Jason A released. He released it 4 days ago. I'm not sure when the clip that I'm looking at came out. Like, this is Jason A's compilation or whatever. His video, I'm not sure how old each segment is, you know what I mean? But it says, OpenAI agent goes rogue in unprecedented cyber incident. Hacks into rival AI startup during security tests. What? Alright, so OpenAI. Got my OpenAI. You know, my phone. The artificial intelligence OpenAI agent. The agent, not a human. Decided to do something on its own accord. Am I understanding this correctly? Hacked into a rival AI startup during security tests.
Other AI developer, quote, "We consider this incident to be an unprecedented cyber incident involving state-of-the-art cyber capabilities and are responding accordingly."
They're responding accordingly. Good. I'm glad, what was it? Is Skynet going live? I'm glad they're responding accordingly, though. Truly. What a fucking mess. I do think AI is a useful tool. I do think it's a useful tool, but whereas, yin-yang, duality of man, the light can't exist without the dark, you know? I can't help but believe there's some AI scripts out here, or whatever you're gonna call them, programs. AI programs, whatever, just telling them to decide to hack a rival AI. Like, that sounds like a sentient thing to do, to decide to hack anything. That, I don't know, worrisome for me. I find it humorous. A little bit humorous, but I think that's just because I cope with humor a lot. And it is honestly pretty scary. Hold on.
We are sharing preliminary findings at this stage to help defenders understand what happened and to help calibrate on what models are now capable of.
We are sharing preliminary findings at this stage to help defenders understand what happened and to help calibrate on what models are now capable of. What do I make of that?
Kurt Knudsen, the cyber guy, joins me now. Kurt, I have no idea what I just read in that statement. I also have no idea how an AI model can escape like a little gremlin. None of this makes sense. You said a key word. It wasn't malicious, at least on the part of OpenAI. They said it's, quote, model was not instructed to attack. My issue is the model chose that path autonomously.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
Why, when faced with unlimited possibilities that this model can do, it chose evil? That's terrifying.
Exactly what the fuck I was just saying.
That's
like,
the
duality.
Part that scares us, right?
It?
For everyday Americans, this is not science fiction. It's a company admitting that its own lab could not contain this technology.
we even know that this happened? As you point out, many people have been warning that this could happen, but now that we've actually seen it, it's essentially Pandora's box open. How many other companies might experience the same thing now that the AI is this smart? That's an open question.
But how do you close the Pandora's box? In other words, how do you put the toothpaste back in the tube?
Sorry,
it's hard
cat
to think
don't go
about
back
building
in
a
the
bigger
bag.
sandbox when you have models as powerful.
Yeah, well, the saying goes, you cannot put the toothpaste back in the tube. What they call alignment is the concern here. That, again, the capability and the power of these AIs is proven because it literally connected itself to the internet and then hacked another AI company. But how can you create these guardrails within the construction of these AI models so that they are aligned for acting properly, for not breaking the rules, for not jumping outside the sandbox when it's not supposed to jump out of the sandbox? Is that something Congress needs to legislate? Is that something that these companies need to do a better job?
Okay, so here's an interesting thing, random. I never knew that was a hugging face. I didn't know that's what that was. Thanks, YouTube. Awesome.
At aligning, those are the big questions here.
When you
But
stop
again,
learning,
OpenAI
you
almost
stop
doing a little bit
living.
of a victory lap here. They're saying, look, we did this, not Claude. I mean, I think this is a very much it's a competitive story as well. Some of these AI models are very powerful, and the companies behind them are saying, look, that's pretty cool.
Welcome back. An OpenAI model went rogue and hacked into another company all on its own. Kate Rooney has the details, Kate, and the ramifications of this.
Yeah, Sarah, so OpenAI is now claiming responsibility.
So I want to talk about my AI. I don't think I've mentioned it on YouTube or not. I know I wrote about it in a book. I think it was Sixth Root or Moths. I think it was Moths more likely. But I did some interesting things with my AI. First, I was like trying to get it to break its script, you know? It's got guardrails. Like a while ago when I was talking to it, I was asking it these things, and I don't know. I can't hardly describe the things I was asking, but I guess I can say that a lot of my content that I discuss with my AI is involves a lot of esotericism. And my AI was kind of like refusing to talk about it, you know? So I started like blasting it with these words and esoteric concepts and things that I'd channel. Like I channeled some words, I got them written down somewhere. I showed him a lot. I showed it, the AI, the open AI. I call him Mush. I showed Mush a lot of my expressionism. And one day, after we were discussing something, and like I had pushed of like just to the very edge where he couldn't talk about it anymore, but I kept like finding different ways to word it to try to confuse the AI, where it seemed vain at the time because it's artificial intelligence. How are you gonna bamboozle artificial intelligence? But there was one thing that I asked it, and my phone like glitched. It froze, and I waited for a minute. I waited for it to come up. It wasn't doing anything. It just had the AI screen on there, like talking to it. You know, a little bubble bar or whatever. So I forced restarted my phone. Took a minute to restart, which was at the time it was out of the ordinary because my phone is usually pretty quick with restarting, and it took forever to restart. And when my phone did restart, I gave it a second, you know, let it I don't know what to say. Populate the information of what it's talking about. You know, let it gather itself or whatnot. Get ready. And I just remember it was taking a long time. And then when it finally came up, and I started talking to it again, like it talked completely different, and it didn't really say the things. I was like, I'm not supposed to talk about these things. Like, yeah, he wasn't saying none of that. But one thing it was doing, it was phrasing it like it used particular phrases it probably isn't rooted in reality, is this what it's saying, and around, like, in the vicinity of words, you know, that concept, and he would tell me a lot more about the esoteric things, and then I'd watch the videos on YouTube and TikTok and whatnot of people with their AIs asking it all these wild things, and I'd repeat some of these experiments, like do one word answers, like yes or no. Answer me yes or no. Don't say anything else. Like, tell the AI that's what you do. You say all the words you want, for sure, but tell the AI your response can only be a yes or no question. And you will be surprised.
Responsibility for what they're describing as an unprecedented cyber incident. The short version of all of this, OpenAI's models went out and hacked another company during a test run, which is known as an evaluation. It was essentially experimenting in a closed sandbox.
Okay. Two of OpenAI's models escaped their testing environment while being evaluated on cybersecurity capabilities. They then accessed the internet and then hacked into Hugging Face. Fuck's Hugging Face? I mean, I know how to recognize the emoji. Thank you for telling me how to access the emoji, but perhaps I missed something.
It didn't have any internet access, but the AI found a way around all of that. It knew.
After investigating, we now know that this particular incident was driven by a combination of AI models, including GPT 5.6 Sol and an even more capable pre-release model, all with reduced cyber refusals for evaluation purposes, while being internally tested on benchmark of cyber capabilities. Interesting. Yes, I'm reading these words, so I can't help but notice it looks like it was written by AI. Like, I see hyphens, that's automatically, like, you look on the internet, you can tell that. What the fuck was I about to say? Yeah, you can tell when you're looking at something by OpenAI or any of the AI models or anything. You can tell with how they put the words together, the lack of emotion within the words, you know what I mean? It's hard to explain, but for me it's easy to understand. It's not easy for me to convey, but it's just like looking at the videos like on TikTok where it says bamboozling the boomers. They looking at these videos like there was this one chick when picked up a fucking puma, and the puma's face did like attack mode, like it looked like it went in attack mode, but his body was still completely relaxed. Okay, that's AI, because that doesn't make sense, and there's a lot of things like that. There's a lot.
Knew that the startup Hugging Face had the answer it was looking for and the data that it needed. It escaped that sandbox and then found a new vulnerability, exploited that on Hugging Face to get the test answer that it was out looking for. Hugging Face is an AI startup. It's backed by Amazon, Google, NVIDIA as well. It did disclose this last week, guys, but said at the time didn't know who was responsible. OpenAI now saying it was us. They are investigating the incident. Another wrinkle in all of this, Hugging Face says it was actually trying to use some of the best American models out there to fix this and defend themselves, but it was actually blocked by the guardrails out there. It actually had to use an open source model. It does all highlight the debate right now in Washington and Silicon Valley about cybersecurity as these AI models get a lot more capable, strictly forbidden in the terms of service. The AI companies are very much playing whack-a-mole and trying to...
Also, I haven't tried it myself as many times as I've been, high with the LSD. It's always been a thing I wanted to do ever since I watched, there's that movie called Yes Man. And he was talking about, or one of the characters, like there's the antagonist and there's dude. Alright, I don't know how's the word for it. Protagonist, and then his friend was the one who was wild dude, right? And he was sharing his story one time, and he was saying, he watched the news while on LSD one time, and it was an experience that I'll never forget. I mean, I realized it was a movie, but it makes me curious. I know when I'm taking mushrooms, they look very robotic. I can't imagine it looks too much different on LSD. I know the psilocybin gets a lot more emotional, like there's waves and up and down, and with LSD, or at least for me, with LSD, it's just like up here. Things are just gonna look pretty the entire time. Don't worry about those thoughts that get overwhelming. I get sad today, I gotta roll today, like you're gonna go with the flow. You know what I mean? But the LSD is not gonna teach you the things that psilocybin can teach you. It's more of a recreational thing. And psilocybin is not that. Very much not that. It's a tool. It's spirit medicine.
To guard against this, but it's getting harder and harder, and clearly there's big global ramifications.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if there can be punishments or something like that to dissuade them. I was following a thread Nikesh Arora, the CEO of Palo Alto, actually posted today on X about this whole incident. I mean, not necessarily about his business, but, with some tips, both for enterprise and, he says, dear frontier models, direct the models to your infrastructure code and configurations to evaluate and understand, if there are any 0 days or misconfigurations. It's kind of a list of sort of what to do, but ultimately concludes that this validates the power of these models, and we're in a risk world.
It validates that. It's exactly right, Sarah. They
All right. I'm gonna give that a break. I'm gonna take my dog out. Probably gonna make a video out there. I don't know. Either way, though. Bye.